Now let me try to explain it with illustrations that maybe a couple of the atheists can understand. I'm going to try to keep it real simple for you fellas, okay? If I told you if you kiss a frog, it would turn to a prince, I think most intelligent folks would say that's called a fairy tale, right? Frogs do not turn to princes if you kiss them. I know one girl said, I've been kissing a lot of frogs and none of them have turned to a prince yet, okay? But somehow if you add millions of years, it works. See, boys and girls, we started like an amoeba and slowly evolved into a frog. Oh, there's Grandpa right there. And then very slowly became a prince. Somehow in their little bitty brain, adding time helps the impossible and the stupid become possible and logical. If a frog turns to a handsome prince quickly, we call that a fairy tale. Oh, Patch the Pirate. Have you seen Patch the Pirate stuff? Good friend of mine, Ron Hamilton in Greenville, North Carolina. Fabulous folk. You know, obviously it's a fairy tale if you kiss the frog and it turns to a prince. Hello, that's a fairy tale. Everybody knows that. But in their little brain, the frog turns to a prince slowly. Well, now it's modern science. Isn't that exactly what they're teaching? Same fairy tale with a new magic ingredient called billions and billions of years. Fellas, I'm going to explain it to you slowly. Adding time will not help. Amen. If I told you a man could fly through the air quickly, you would say, that's not possible. That's imagination stuff, you know, Superman, Batman. It doesn't happen. But somehow, if I told you a man could walk through the air slowly, oh, now that would be scientific. Look, if you can't fly through the air quickly, he probably can't also walk through the air slowly, okay? Think about it for 5 minutes. Now watch what happens in the textbooks, though. This is straight off the internet today, okay? If a protozoa turns to a biology teacher quickly, that's a fairy tale. But if the protozoa turns to the biology teacher slowly, that's modern science, and they put it in a book and put a graph and draw lines between them, and that's, hey, there's a line here that proves they're related. That's their thinking. I don't know how, you know, I tell the people, like the insurance people and people that about the ministry, I say, look, you can't guard against stupid. It's not possible to build a place where nobody can get hurt. Is it? People get hurt? It's not possible. You can get hurt in a rubber room. Yes. Okay. It's not possible to help people that believe your ancestor was an amoeba. Those kind of people are dangerous and should not be allowed around children. But guess what? That's what they do for a living, is teach our children. If you believe in evolution and you believe your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather was an amoeba or a protozoa, you should not be allowed around children. Yeah. Watch that fire the internet up. Okay. The second law of thermodynamics, thermo means heat, and dynamics, where we get the word dynamite, which means power. The power of heat. The second law tells us everything is falling apart. Everything tends toward disorder. It's phrased all sorts of different ways, but the second law says everything's falling apart. It's degrading. That's what the Bible says. The heavens are the work of thy hands. They shall perish. They wax old as doth a garment. Doesn't everything gradually wear out, get worse? Take a look at your bedroom. You'll see what I'm talking about. Everything tends toward chaos. Here is Sue at 20. Here she is at 90. Right? And here she is at 3,000. I always had the high school boys come and say, oh, Brother Hovind, my girlfriend is so pretty. Wow. I say, man, I'm glad you like looking at her. But listen, son, she might not always be pretty. Oh, she'll always be pretty. Okay, son, listen, let's get in the car. We're going to go down to the nursing home, and I want you to pick out which one you want her to look like. Right? This is what you get in 50 years, okay? Isaac Asimov said, another way of stating the second law of thermodynamics he's talking about is, the universe is constantly getting more disorderly. It is. Viewed that way, we can see the second law all around us. We have to work hard to straighten out a room, but left to itself, it becomes a mess again, very quickly and very easily. Even if we never enter it, it becomes dusty and musty. How difficult to maintain houses and machinery and our own bodies in perfect working order. How easy to let them deteriorate. In fact, all we have to do is nothing, And everything deteriorates, collapses, breaks down, wears out all by itself, and that is what the second law is all about. Isaac, you're exactly correct. So you guys who believe adding time will turn your frog into a prince or turn your amoeba into a biology teacher, you're dreaming, okay? It's not going to work. Adding time won't help. Your house is constantly losing heat. Everything falls apart. But the textbooks are going to tell the kids, and they're all right here on the shelves, humans probably evolved from bacteria more than 4 billion years ago. If a bacteria turns to a human, that is a fairy tale. And adding 4 billion years is not going to help. What's going to happen is the bacteria is going to die instead. Aren't bacteria still having, offspring? They're still multiplying? Guess what their babies turn out to be? Chickens. You got it. Okay. The evolutionists assume that adding energy will overcome the second law. Guys, adding energy doesn't even help. Adding time doesn't help, and adding energy doesn't help. Your theory is defunct. It's useless. It's counterintuitive. It's counter-scientific. It's stupid. Give it up. Okay? It's not true. Things become more disorganized due to random events, not more organized. Disorder increases in a closed system, which the Earth most certainly is not. Energy continually enters the biosphere from the sun. So if you add energy from the sun, that can somehow overcome the second law of thermodynamics. That's what they're teaching. Because anybody with half a brain knows the second law of thermodynamics is a problem for the evolutionist. A major problem. So their supposed answer is, well, let's add energy. They'll say, well, yeah, you can take a disorganized pile of bricks and you can organize it into a pile of bricks. Okay. It took not only energy to move the bricks, it took some level of intelligence. Where's this intelligence coming from? Where's the information coming from to organize molecules into a living being? Where is this information coming from, fellas? Now, you're going to add energy. You think the sun adding energy is going to do it? Adding energy is not going to help. First place, the universe is a closed system. Now, the Earth gets energy from the sun, but the sun is losing a whole lot of energy to give us just a tiny bit of it. We get a little tiny speck of energy from that sun. Doesn't it send that energy in all directions? How big is the Earth compared to the sun? How far away is it? And it is 93 million miles away, guys. You flat earthers are dead wrong. It's not hovering just above the sky. Anyway, secondly, adding energy is destructive, unless there's something to use it. The sun's energy is destructive to just about everything on the Earth. Very few things can actually use that energy. Adding energy, see, they think adding time will help and adding energy will help. I'm sorry, you're wrong on both counts. The Japanese added a whole bunch of energy to Pearl Harbor one day, didn't they? Surprise attack. Actually, some of our politicians were not surprised. They were hoping it would happen because they wanted to get us into that war, but that's another long story. So a couple years later, we returned the favor and added some energy to some of their cities, didn't we? Atomic bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. We didn't organize anything for them, did we? Our military spent a whole lot of time trying to chase down that guy with the diaper on his head, and we added all kinds of energy to Afghanistan trying to get that guy. Finally did, we think. They buried somebody out at sea. We don't know if it might have been him. I hope it was. Doesn't matter. Adding energy doesn't help. The sun's energy is going to destroy the roof on your house, not fix it. The sun's energy will destroy your entire house. If you do nothing for 50 years or 100 years, your house will fall apart just from the sun's energy. Drying out the wood, baking the shingles, it's going to ruin your house. The sun's energy will destroy the vinyl top on your car. It will not give you a vinyl top. It will destroy the one you have. The sun's energy will destroy your upholstery. It's not going to polish your upholstery or improve it. It's going to destroy it. The sun's energy will destroy your paint job. It won't paint your car. It will destroy the paint on your car. Only one thing can actually use the sun's energy: chlorophyll. That little chlorophyll molecule in the plant cells is unbelievably complex. The cell in a plant, one cell, is more complicated than the space shuttle. Now, Darwin thought a cell was just a little glob of jelly. In Darwin's day, they did not understand the complexity of the cell. One guy today, I don't know if it's in the comments or debates or anyway, he said, well, there's been a whole lot of scientific improvement in the last 100 years. I agree. We have come a long way in 100 years. And there isn't one thing you can point to from science, not one advancement in science that has helped the evolution theory. Not one. Now that we know more about the cell, it's like, whoa, this is not a glob of jelly. This thing is an incredible machine. And it's loaded with little machines inside of the cell. Not only is the cell a machine, it's loaded with itty-bitty machines inside. It's like a shop that has all these complicated machines in the building. A cell is unbelievably complex. And chlorophyll can use the sunlight. The sunlight destroys just about everything else. So adding energy is not going to help your stupid theory. Adding time is not going to help. It's going to get worse. The second law of thermodynamics is correct. Everything tends toward disorder, and the evolution theory attempts to violate or ignore that well-known and well-established law. Evolution is not even a theory. It's a religion. It's a belief. It's not even a good hypothesis. It's a useless religion, in my humble, totally unbiased opinion. Okay.